everybody. I will have now 15 minutes, it's very short, so fasten your seatbelts, to give you a very different look on global economic transition. Sorry, the slides are in French, but I will say it in English, the keywords. We have been surfing nicely between friends for a few decades, but now we have some fundamentals that are going to converge, and it's going to be very soon. And I have made the list for you, which I'm not going to list, not to make the energy down. But we are definitely going to heading a few tsunamis. That's the reality. Economic, monetary, climate, and all these subjects. This is the list. We have over 20 major historical challenges, of most of them things that we never have had to manage in history. And they're going to converge together at the same time, at the same point. So this is basically very pragmatic things that are heading to us. Debt is one of them, climate is one of them, but also very pragmatic things on pension funds, which are now, the system is bugging. So these are a few things that are going on. So, but the question is, who has the power to change something? And we, in our work, understood there is a very big shift going on. There are very big shifts going between the power. Before, in the old economy, in the old times, it was the clergy, it was academics and scientifics, it was, of course, the military, the political world, and the finance world, the business world. And actually, there is a very big shift going, and some people in this room are part of those. Women, young people. It's also a generation shift. The people under 30 and under 25 have already in their brain, in their way of working, the new paradigms. It's also about expertise and opinion leadership. The more you're expert in something, the more you are on the map. Good communicators, also important, and also visionary leaders, visionary leadership and entrepreneurship. So some of you, if you have women in the room, young, who are good communicators, who are experts and vision leaders, so you are really in the position to change things. Now, the paradigm shifts is on so many levels. I'm not going to list them, but the paradigm shifts are really on a lot of very different levels, and too many people are doing half of the work, or are trying to do new business that looks new, but with half of the work done. So it's an exercise to go into the new economy completely, to go completely the whole way. So if you want the presentation, please send me an email. My email will be at the end of the presentation, because I don't have time to go through all of that. And something I would like to revisit is the genesis. Actually, the fifth day, God created money. That was a quite interesting exercise, because it's a good thing to have money to measure value, to measure stock. But the sixth day, God created the neurosis of human beings. Anxiety, fears, jealousy. And this is where the whole thing started to bug. And the problem is that God rested the seventh day. And then people took over the whole thing. And basically created a system that promises happiness, and that creates a huge rat race that finishes on 2 square meters for everybody. And actually the promise was not there. So basically this is the whole thing we have to now to revisit completely in all its paradigms. Now the consequences are huge for our economy. Today we have a debt. When you calculate the true debt that we are actually heading, and that we gave to our children and grandchildren, it's the pensions debt, which is already now a multiple of the GDP. It's a true debt. It's huge. And we know already that by 2020 in this country, the debts, and these are confidential figures, that the pensions are going to bug. The system doesn't work anymore in a few years. The private debt, the company debt, and the government debts, it's already like between 3 and 4 times GDP. So we are already up to 8 times. Environment and climate debt, also 5 to 6 times GDP, and the exclusion and the social debt. So we are now way over 15 times, ladies and gentlemen, the GDP as a real debt, which is unaccounted to our children. There's no way they're going to be able to deal with it in the old economic paradigm. So when you have to believe economists, they tell you are heading 30 years of recession. So there's no way this whole thing is going to be sustainable. So that means implosion is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Between now and 2020, the monetary system is going to collapse. It is going to collapse. And with the big risk of social peace that is going to be disrupted. So that's the reality about today. Now, there are, of course, a lot of solutions, thanks God. A huge collective consciousness that is rising very quickly together with the data. Every year now, the information doubles on the planet. Collective consciousness also is doubling every year. A lot of new solutions are emerging and a lot of purpose. People are looking for purpose, connecting with the higher purpose. And if we all a little bit, little by little, connect to higher purpose, it's going to give collective solutions. And by obligation, opening to others, like this crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is like looking for resources everywhere. How can we share resources and give solutions? That's opening up to very interesting collective resources that are activated, that before were not activated. So we have to rethink our job and see if we can dream again. Dream again of what we really want in life. So that's the boat we are invited to take. For when I'm in the public of corporate, I tell them the boat is going to pass once, twice, but not 3 times. Maybe it's already too late for your business. And if you have big corporation people, for some of your big corporations, it's already too late to do this turnaround. So even if today your boss is making money, maybe in 5 years he's not going to exist anymore because he's going to be just by new entrants going to be out of business. Now, a few fundamentals. At MIT and Oxford, studies are converging. In 10 years, between 45 and 50% of the jobs are going to be destroyed. Imagine the hundreds of millions of people, amongst a few of us, probably, out of a job before 2025. The question is are you going to be out of the plane or still inside in 10 years? That's the question, and the conditions to succeed that also. The other thing is that to succeed this passage to the next economies, which I'm going to explain later, we have to create completely new connections. It's also part of the philosophy behind crowdsourcing. Connects people, connect generations, connect cultures, connect businesses, completely unexpected. One of the keys. Do you do that? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that in a society where we are afraid of what is different, where we don't know? Also, the world of we are coming from is a world of dependence, of cupidity, based on fears. It's a good business to make people afraid and then to give a solution so they buy your solution. No, but we are going to a world where autonomy, where personal power is the highest asset. And in this personal power, the will to contribute to common good. Not only to money, like the previous speaker. Vision and heart, connecting with the heart, empathy, feeling what's going on. This is a very big shift where we're not trained for that. Are you able to collaborate? Because crowdsourcing is nice, but are you able to collaborate? You were trained to compete. It's a very, very big paradigm shift. Also, we have to be able to, because all economies are based on one thing, on our perception of value. All the economies. If I'm an animist, I will cherish the earth. So I will measure value in what I'm creating for earth and taking from earth. If it's common good, it's common good. If it's money, we're going to make money together. So we decided to create a new way to measure value. If you're interested in this, it's an algorithm. We are training accountants on this. It's making a balance sheet of the common good. Are we contributing to common good or destroying social surrounding? What do we know? What do we don't know? measured in dollars or euros. Measure how we communicate internally in a company and externally. Are we good in communication? Do we use the good tools? Emotionally, we are measuring that in euros with accountants. What is the emotional value of this company? The emotional affection we have for the brand. We measure that. Trust is also emotional. Process. Am I good in transforming resources into value, into energy? We measure that. And then, of course, the wallet. It's here. You can follow the human being, by the way. It's very simple to understand. And the result, the financial result, is the health of the company, is the consequence of smart work. And, of course, the link with Earth. How much value am I destructing to the world and the Earth, and how much value I give back? 7D value. And, of course, this value has to flow through the whole company or organization or project. The other thing is the propriétaire, where you own all the resources. We have to open it up and share resources. Again, very difficult, because we have to collaborate with other people, with other agendas. How does it work? Are you prepared for that? You see how difficult it is to share resources. That's the new economy. But if we are really collaborating, we can answer 80% of the needs today with the known technology, 80% of the needs, with 20% of the resources. We can be 5 times more efficient, 4 to 5 times more efficient. This is our ecosystem. And also, of course, the management is horizontal and instead of pyramidal. This is a big paradigm shift. The value is also much more and more intangible, immaterial. It's knowledge and all that, and there is a shift between taking resources from Earth, unlimited, and protect the knowledge, into protecting the Earth and open up the knowledge. Also, work is going to change. Develop excellence and put this excellence to the service of several clients. Also a big paradigm shift. Diversity, gender, cultures, generations there, because we know we cannot do anything anymore alone. It's impossible. We will have to collaborate. In a world, again, where we are more and more afraid of the difference, even in generations, there is a big generation gap that we have to work together. We cannot leave our children, okay, now it's your turn. We really have to work together. The economy, and that's the big picture, and I will end on this. We did an exercise with our team. We listed 59 different economical spaces. And crowdsourcing and open source and all that is on the upper levels. Everything in red is crushing, like the lasagna. There will be less meat. And all the green is opening up. So we have 3 to 4 spaces that are crushing, including public services. And we have over 10 clusters of economies that are opening up. So there is a lot of opportunities today. And crowdsourcing and open source is one of them. So if you want the scan, send me an email. These are a few of our clients and countries we worked in. This is our ecosystem. We are working on education for tomorrow, new economy. We have a think tank, a mastermind, but I think I don't have much more time for this. An academy. So the email, if you want to email, michel@uhdr.net. So thank you very much. 30 seconds.
We'll open up for a question. Any question for Michel? Anyone? Here you go, the gentleman right there. Yeah.
Hello, thank you very much for your presentation. Really inspiring. I know what you're talking about because this last year I've been doing more or less the same research, and I've been arriving to the same conclusions more or less. But how do you see the future in your own view? What we need to start working on? Of course, we need to start being involved with communities, okay? But what will be the final purpose that we should propose to communities to start working on, to start proposing a change, and to start building a sustainable economics and...
It's the most important question, of course.
Okay.
What's behind it? I'm not a transhumanism who believes in robots. I believe in people and human excellence. So the first thing we should all work on with our teams, with our families, with our children, is on ourselves. To develop a personal, strong coherence on, and also purpose. Why am I on this planet? What do I want to contribute to? Develop yourself. Because the next economy, and there will be a few other chapters before we get to that point, but the ultimate goal is an economy, is a society where human beings are cherished, are brought to their best. This is the ultimate. It's not a robot economy. This is what I believe.
Yeah.
Correct, but going back to I agree with you. First on yourself, and next on communities. Okay.
Yes.
My question was more addressed on how and what should be the message, what should be the goal that we should communicate to communities to start engaging with each other and
contributing. Make an exercise on what challenges you want to contribute to, and the more challenges you can cope with. Education, housing, mobility, like the previous one, the more challenges you can serve with your excellence, the more traction you will create in your activity. If we all care a little bit more about common good, in what shape it is, then we'll create, if it's only 5% each, it will be a multiplicator effect of 100%. So that's the ultimate goal, is contributing to common good.
Great. Michel, thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thanks for...
Thank you, Michel.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.